Dr. Davis, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, parents, community, stakeholders, school and district staff. On behalf of our superintendent, Dr. Morsees Beasley, and our deputy superintendent of school, Dr. Ralph Simpson, we would like to thank you for joining today's webinar, which is part 4 of our parent webinar series. Please know that all of the recordings from the previous sessions are posted on our Clayton County Public Schools main page. This week, you should have received a reminder that today is the last day of instruction for our students. Teachers will still be accessible to answer questions, provide tutorial support to students if requested, etc. But teachers will not conduct live lessons after today. We're asking that our students continue to complete and submit any makeup work prior to the last day of school, which is May 21st. We want them to just continue to use this time to complete any necessary work. I'm excited for today's session. Parents, you will receive insight on how to engage your child in meaningful summer activities that are fun and continue to stimulate learning. We have a guest presenter today, our coordinator of library media services, Mr. Craig Coleman. He will join our facilitator, Dr. Tova Davis, to share these wonderful tips and resources and show you how to access them. As always, we are praying for our families and praying that everyone remains in great health and wellness during this time. We are here for you and our students. Parents, we will ask you for feedback at the end of today's session so that we can ensure that they are customized to your needs. So Dr. Davis, I'll turn it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lee. And again, we welcome you this afternoon to our session 4, A Parent's Guide to Virtual Learning, Planning for Summer Success. And what we want to do today is really focus on the importance of continuous engagement for our students. We want to make sure that we have a lot of information out there for you where you can learn strategies to keep your students engaged during summer break. So today will be a fun, simple session, but full of information for you, the parents, the community, to really keep our students engaged, as you've done an amazing job of carrying out the rest of this school year and making sure that we keep our students on target. Just a few reminders for our meeting protocols. This meeting is being recorded and will be available for review in your portal and on your website. All participants have been muted for optimal sound performance. If for some reason your sound isn't working, please dial in or download the Amazon Chime app so that you can view the presentation as well. Locate the chat feature on your mobile device or on your desktop, and you can definitely interact with us. We love the interaction during the presentation. You can also send us emails at the end. We'll give you our email address. We'll also provide a link for you to provide some feedback. And if you don't get your questions answered today, we'll definitely answer them for you after the session. You can also ask those questions during the presentation. And lastly, again, you'll see that link for feedback. Please help us to continue to improve. Let us know if these sessions have been helpful for you. And without further ado, I would like to introduce our guest speaker today, the coordinator of Library and Media Services, who works directly with Dr. Lee and her team, to speak more about some personalized learning opportunities that they have put together in Clayton County. So, Mr. Craig Coleman, I'd like to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. This is Craig Coleman. I'm the coordinator for Library Media Services for Clayton County Public Schools. And I'm here today to share with you our summer reading resources. So I'm going to show you some slides that are based off of what we have available on our website. First of all, you can reach our summer reading materials using the address at the top. It's tinyurl.com/CR Summer 2020. And CR is for Clayton Reads. And we want you all to help us show that our students are reading this summer by encouraging them to read every day. We're looking for students to read every day, 30 minutes, any books of interest all summer long. So once you're on the summer reading page, we provided some steps for summer reading. The first step is our summer reading challenges. And by clicking this document, you can view the challenges we have in place for our students and even some for our parents. So this is how our summer reading challenge page looks. We're encouraging students to read a variety of books all summer. They can put each title of the different books they read at the top. We're challenging them to read longer and longer periods of time. So if they're a first grader and they're able to read 10 minutes in one sitting, maybe later on this summer they can read 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and so on to build up what we call their reading stamina, their ability to read for a lengthy period of time. We're challenging them to write a critique of one book that they've read this summer. And we're even challenging the parents to do some things to encourage reading, such as scheduling a time each day to read a book while your child reads a book. So by showing them that we're interested in reading, then they also see that it's an everyday activity that we can encourage them to do. Students that complete these challenges and return this page to the media specialist in August will receive a free book. Let me go back to the slides here. So step 2 are our reading lists, and we've had these reading lists out for a number of years now. This year, because we knew there was a possibility the public libraries would not be open, we've selected all ebooks for these selections. So these are reading suggestions. We want students to read what they're interested in. That's a very critical thing, because if you're not interested, you're not going to read. So these are suggestions, and we've done some things to encourage students to read different books that maybe they wouldn't have thought of reading. So I'm going to choose one of the reading lists to show you how it appears. And this list is actually a little bit interactive. So at the top it has our summer reading goals, and we have what we call a virtual book tasting. A number of our schools have done book tastings this year. Just like food, we all have different tastes in books. So clicking a book cover will actually show the student a short video to encourage them to read the book and to give it a try. So if I go down to the bottom here and click this one, there's a link that goes to a video, and you won't be able to hear the sound here, but you can at least see the way the style is. This is from our media specialist, Mr. Henry. He's at Huey Elementary, and he's encouraging the students to read a book called Tristan Strong, and he's telling them about the story and inviting them to read the book. All of our selections are available in an ebook library that's been made available from our public libraries. And the way you get to this is by emailing Clayton Reads at clayton.k12.ga.us. That email comes directly to me or to another media specialist who's assisting me, and we will send you back an access code for eRead Kids, that's for elementary and middle grades, or for open ebooks for our high school students. All of the ebooks are free. There's no cost at all. You do have to check out the books in some cases and return them within the ebook library, but it's all available on either your computer or on a mobile device. And then the third step is this summer we've made Accelerated Reader available all summer long to elementary and middle school students. So if your students are used to using Accelerated Reader to show what they know, they can continue to do that during the summer after they read a book. If your student has never logged into Accelerated Reader, they can email Clayton Reads at clayton.k12.ga.us for support, and I will contact them with the information they need to log in. And lastly, we've given you more reading options. Maybe there isn't exactly what your student's looking for in eRead Kids or in open ebooks. In the bottom section of the web page, we have MyOn available all summer, Lightbox Interactive eBooks, and Tumble Book Library. If you have a young child, especially a pre-K or kindergartner, Tumble Book Library is a must-use resource. It's available from our public libraries, and it includes hundreds and hundreds of read-aloud stories. Some have interaction, but it's very entertaining, very well done, And those are additional resources to help you. So I want to thank you for supporting your child's summer reading. And this information is available on our website. I'll go back to the beginning to make sure you know where to find everything. You're going to go to tinyurl.com/CRSummer2020. Dr. Davis, do we have any questions in the chat box?
No questions so far. If you would just type that URL in the chat box for
Will
our
do.
guests. Yeah, and they can definitely copy and have that available after the session so that they can check it out, because that is some very good information. Thank you, Craig.
Sure.
All right, and again, this is the homepage of your summer learning, and please take advantage of that. There's some really good information out there for our students. So as we continue with our session for today, what we always like to do is just for the purpose of recapping the previous session, so that if anyone wants to go back and look at the other sessions or review a portion of the other sessions, we have that information here for you. Session 1, again, we talked about what does school look like at home, and I know we're winding down there. We're at the end of the school year, but we want to really review those strategies, because there are some things there that can help you throughout the summer as well if you didn't get a chance to see session 1. Session 2, how do I meet my child's needs? We talked about really some different learning strategies and some different learning styles and understanding your child's learning style. So even if you missed that one, go back and take a look at that, because it can also help you in other areas of life when children are doing things and we really can't figure out why they're not responding a certain way. Session 2 was really helpful in giving us some other things to think about as we determine our learning style of our children. And session 3, last Friday, we talked about monitoring our children's progress. So look at, how do I monitor my child's progress? How do I even know what that is? What does that look like? And, you know, why is it even important? So we went into some detail there. And so we really spent some good time talking about some really basic strategies to make sure that your child is progressing like you and the teacher would need them to be progressing. And so if you've missed any of those sessions, please go back and take a look at those so we can get you on track here. So let's get ready today for session 4. So our main question, what will your summer look like? What will summer look like for your kids? Well, this is a summer like none other, where we will all have to practice social distancing this summer. And so, you know, whether you're on the playground with your kid for a few hours, or whether you're, you know, outside in your yard or at home, whether you're working, you know, with multiple children in your home or with just an individual kid, even if you get a chance to go to a beach or a vacation, you still want to practice social distancing. So let's definitely help one another and stick together by continuing to do that. But when we look at these photos here and you think about all the things that we used to do, this is a new normal. Summer doesn't look the same way that it, you know, looked in the past. And so what are we going to do? But one thing that's really important is that we make sure we keep our kids engaged and keep it fun. We want them to have fun this summer and to really take care of ourselves. So what I want to do is talk about why it's really important to keep students engaged. There's a theory here. It's called summer learning loss. And so with summer learning loss, what tends to happen, and I have some research here that I'm going to break down very simple for you. And I actually quoted an article title there if you want to take a look at it a little later. But during the summer, research shows that students, they make a lot of progress during the school year. based on the consistency of the instruction being provided and all of the strategies that we talk about all year long and all the things that we're doing all school year. We are constantly working with our students during the school year. And then what happens during the summer, if we just completely stop everything, it shows where during the summer breaks or summer months, students who are not engaged tend to encounter what's called a summer learning loss. And basically, students can lose grade levels of learning, either months of learning, 2 to 3 months or more. So what that means is if we don't work with our children during the summer, if they made gains during the school year, let's say they were reading on a 4th grade level and they were actually in the 3rd grade. So let's say you have a 3rd grader who was reading on a 4th grade level. Well, they were progressing really well. They're actually ahead of grade, and then summer break happens. And if they do nothing all summer, by the time they get back, depending on the student's abilities, by the time they get back, there's a possibility that they could be now at a 3rd grade level versus where they were at a 4th grade level. Or in worst case scenarios, some students lose a couple months, and so they go back and they're at the beginning of a 3rd grade level where they could have been at the end of a 3rd grade level. So it's very important to keep our students engaged. The more pronounced subject that this happens in, based on the research and studies that have been done, is math and spelling, math, writing. So even if you want to pick and choose what you do with your students over the summer, you want to make sure that you have them reading and writing and doing some basic math. And it doesn't take all day. It's not very serious. It can be lots of fun, but you want to make sure that they are engaged because we want to try to avoid any summer learning loss that might occur. And so with that being said, let's continue. And if you have any questions about summer learning loss, please, by all means, put those in the chat, email us so that we can try to address those. You can also email your child's teacher because they are aware and they know the importance of keeping them engaged. And so what we want to do is really take just a few minutes today to focus on engaging and empowering your students. We want them to be empowered. And the way that you empower, you empower someone by giving them something to do. You allow them to do it. You give them the power over that information. And so that's what we want to do. So we're going to just talk a little bit about these strategies here and helping to empower your students. We want to keep them engaged, but more so we want to really empower them. And remember, from our other sessions, we always talked about one size does not fit all. So the strategies that we're going to discuss today, or the activities that we're going to discuss today, you may pick 1 or 2, you may pick 3 or 4. It really depends on what is good for you and your family. But we just want to encourage you to stay engaged and empower your students. So first, let's start with, first of all, we want to stay on a schedule with routines. As we move into summer, it is a little more relaxed, not as stressful. Everybody could use a summer break. We get it, especially with the way things ended. But we want to create and maintain a daily schedule. It's very important that students, they still need to have a wake-up time, have a lunch time, have a activity time. They still really need to have a schedule so that they're productive. It's very important for us as adults even to stay productive during the day, whether you're still on the stay-at-home order or you've decided to relax a little of those, that confinement. You still want to keep your schedule for the day that works for you and your family. You want to develop routines for consistency. It's very important. Students and humans, in general, we are all creatures of habit. And so creating good habits for our students. Go back to session 1, look at some of those structured habits, around the scheduling. That's very important for students, even during the summertime. Again, it doesn't have to be where you wake up at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, but you do need to have consistent routines for the summer. this is a great thing to do. Include fitness and fun in the daily activities. Whatever you do for your kids and for yourself. We're going to talk about this in a moment, but focusing on, keeping yourself healthy and fit, and just taking some time out for you as a parent and for your children so that you can stay well. We want to make sure we work to improve our student skills, and maybe 30 minutes a day, depending on your student. It could be a little more, it could be a little less. But before you close out for the summer, before your day ends, or before, the end of the day by Monday, please reach out to your child's teachers. Go ahead and contact them and say, what is it that I need to work on with my child for the summer? We had 5 questions in the last session that we encouraged parents to ask teachers. Go back and look at those questions. These are very important. What am I supposed to do by working with my kid this summer? Your teacher should be able to give you some good resources, some good information, and some teachers may even have some work for you to do to keep that kid based on what that kid needs. And so definitely ask your teacher for guidance regarding the resources and opportunities that are available. Mr. Craig just shared a lot of good resources that Clayton County offers, and so you want to check out the website to take advantage of those. The next thing we recommend is that you have your kid keep a journal. You want to definitely keep a journal. Have students to write down their day-to-day activities, write down their information. And the journal can be about anything. It doesn't have to be anything specific, something fun. I always like to get them their favorite color journal, or get them, or they can create their own journal. But it can be a written notebook. It could be on Google Drive. It could be a virtual journal where they go in and, or they record. They can do video journals. A lot of the kids love to do videos, and they love to get on the computer and voice record, but keep a journal every day. And another fun thing to do is, as they keep that journal, if they voice record, then maybe they can draw a picture. If they're really artistic, maybe they can have a picture journal. So keeping a journal really helps kids to stay focused. I always like to, for those of you who don't know and weren't on the other sessions, we homeschool our kids, and they always start the day with a journal. And by way of reflection, it helps to set the tone for the day. So giving them a task to do, the first thing they do in the morning is write in your journal, set your task for the day. Again, register for summer school or online programs. There are many options for summer assistance and support through your school district. Check out those summer learning opportunities. If your child needs a course for graduation or for something else, please, by all means, take advantage of the online opportunities that are available there. And again, the other online support opportunities that were mentioned by Mr. Craig in the beginning of our session. As you continue to work to engage and empower your students, you really want to, some other things that you can do are test-taking skills and strategies. 30 minutes a day working on, if you have an older student, either middle school or high school, if you have an older student, you can go to College Board website for middle and high school. My son is actually a 6th grader, and we've been practicing on, there's a PSAT 8-9. We have been allowing them to practice on that for really the whole school year, and we are actually seeing gains. So on the College Board website, and I really wanted to share this with you, they have practice tests and they have the test answers for practice PSAT 8-9 for younger middle grade kids, and then the regular PSAT and SAT. So if you go to collegeboard.org, you will be able to get that information as well. There's also on the Georgia Department of Education website, their practice information for the EOC. 30 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. Yeah, any time that you spend will be very helpful with getting those students, giving them skills, even if you don't know the information. Even if you don't know the information, then you can read through the guides online to help your student. And guess what? The students pick up the information sometimes way faster than we do. So definitely check that out. This is one activity that I really love that helps to build test taking strategies. It is vocabulary development, so a word wall. So let's just say you went to College Board and you had a practice SAT, or you have some type of vocabulary book, or you can Google vocabulary words for grade 3 or vocabulary words for grade 10 and create a word wall. Well, what is a word wall? That is where your student gets to define those words, and then go in and write that definition maybe on a sheet of paper or index cards. If you get a stack of index cards and you find an empty wall somewhere in your home or on the refrigerator, and you post those words up. Post those words up on the wall so that you can learn those words and your students can learn those words. Okay? And just a quick announcement, if everybody could make sure their phones are muted, if you are calling in or dialing in, if you could make sure that you've muted your phone. We hear a little feedback here. And I'm gonna just check to see. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Okay, thank you so much. Next strategy we're going to talk about is focus on math. And this one's also pretty important, especially with the research that shows math is one of those subjects that really incur summer learning loss. And so we want to make sure you understand your child's needs from your teacher, or if you already know what your child needs, then use Khan Academy is a great resource for math. Online, you can type in a topic, or they have actually like a math quiz that you can take, and then they will give you the videos, the tutorials. You don't have to do anything but get the kids set up. And the Khan Academy tutorial will definitely give the kid knowledge to enhance those skills that show on the assessment. There's also a website called Math Antics that they can do videos, and these are really good videos. We use them all the time, helping our kids to explain concepts that I don't know. That say, you know, if you have a child and your child is doing geometry or algebra 2, or even just learning multiplication tables, you can just type that in. It can be on your mobile phone, it can be on your device, and they will have a video that will help them. And if they can do this for 15, 20 minutes, up to 30 minutes a day, this will prevent that summer learning loss, and you will even see some gains with your students. Super, super important. Practicing basic math facts for our young kids, those kids who are still learning the multiplication, the addition, the subtraction. Flashcards, that's really old school, but they actually have them on the iPads and the phones now, where you can actually go in and they can practice their basic math facts every day. For those of you who may have people you know who know the subject really well, set up a math tutorial, a virtual math tutorial if you're still in quarantine. Set up a virtual math tutorial where your kid gets to interact with that person who you know, or a teacher or a tutor, for a few minutes, not very long. And this might be twice a week. You know, you may not need that every day, once a week, and then you supplement with the other online resources the rest of the week. But those are just a few activities to focus on math, but it's really important. Again, we want to empower the students, and we want to make sure that we don't have summer learning loss with our kids this summer.
Okay, I have a question. Someone was supposed to have sent me a link for my child to be, so we can have a meeting for him to be moved to high school, and instead she sent me this link. I don't think I'm supposed to be in here.
Okay, well, this session again is about engaging our students for this summer, And so it's relative to every grade level. So, you're more than welcome to stay in this meeting and just get the information. And then if you want to ask a question in the chat, maybe we can, or email us at the end, maybe we can get you to the right place.
Well, yeah, the meeting was at 1. So I don't, okay.
Okay. And so what we'll do, again, just email us if you have any questions, or if you could put your questions in the chat. Everyone, I'm going to mute your phones. If you could put your questions in the chat, we'll have someone respond to those questions in the chat. But we definitely want to get you to the right place. So thanks for asking that. Okay, our next strategy here is to focus on literacy. And again, as Craig stated earlier, reading is really fundamental for students to read throughout the summer. It doesn't matter if they are 5 years old or 18 years old. Reading is critical to their development. So reading for at least 30 to 45 minutes each day. Reading challenges. There are a lot of challenges. Students love those challenges online. There are a lot of reading challenges that they can find. There are some on the website that was presented earlier with the tiny URL. And so you want to make sure you do that. For those of our younger readers and even those kids who like it, read alouds are really important. If you want to spend some time reading aloud with your students, that's very effective to help empower and engage and increase their literacy, their comprehension over the summer. Again, that vocabulary practice. So if you're reading, pick a novel and pick something that they really like, or let them pick something that they really like. If they are reading over the summer and there are words in the books that they come across and they don't know, have them to circle those words in the text. That is it's called annotating. Well, you circle the words in the text that they don't know or that we don't know. If we're reading together and there's a paragraph and I say, read this out loud, and they read the paragraph and they stumble over a word, I'll say, okay, circle that word and we're going to come back to it. Well, that word becomes one of your word wall words, as well as making sure that the students learn those words. And so vocabulary practice is really important, and those words can go up all over the house. The kids have a lot of fun with that. And so making sure that they learn these words and have fun with them. My kids like to take words and make posters and put them all over the house. And so they have fun with learning. Make sure you have fun with your kids and having them to learn. And again, reading to write and writing to read. Reading and writing always go together. So have the students to write about what they read sometimes. And it doesn't have to be very long, but just a little bit each day will keep them from having that summer learning loss. Okay. Next, learn a new language. And this one I thought would be fun. I know most people are going to say, what, are you kidding me? Learn a new language. So my son is home and we started on Spanish, and I'm not a Spanish teacher. I don't speak Spanish fluently. I learned it in school just like they did. And so what we do is, and it really works, to get an app on your phone or on your iPad or your computer. There are many free fun apps to let kids, especially the younger they are, the easier they pick it up. So this I would highly recommend. There's an app called Babbel and Duolingo. Both of these apps are excellent for beginning language learners, for new languages. So if you wanted to just explore with French or Chinese or Mandarin, they say, and then or Spanish or whatever language, just let your kid pick one that they might be interested in and just try it. Again, it's just an activity that they can try and really focus on learning. You will be surprised at what they will pick up over the summer. Okay? The next strategy we have here is take a virtual field trip. This is so much fun. So if you select a fun place and learn about it, have the students to learn about where it is, where it's located, what the climate looks like, what the economy is like there, and then you all take a virtual field trip. So for those of us who will be home for the summer, we can schedule as many summer virtual trips as we like. So let's create a virtual vacation and create discussions. And one fun thing that you can do is for those students who are a little older, have them to create an itinerary for each week or each trip. Meaning, when are we leaving? What time are we getting there? What activities will we do while we're there on the trip? And whatever activities you come up with, you'll actually go to those places on, the computer. So you just Google that place. So let's say you wanted to visit New York City. And when you got to New York City, you wanted to go to Times Square. And then you wanted to go see the 9/11 Memorial. Or you wanted to go to Central Park. Well, you could look up all of these locations online and have your kid to create one of those itinerary to visit all of those locations. Very fun activity. The kids love it and it engages them. It's working on a few skills. It's working on reading. It's working on math skills. It's working on just their research. It's working on, and then their writing. And it's so valuable to create that. And the kids love engaging in the virtual field trips and they learn a lot from it. This next activity, staying active and focusing on your health, is super important. And we need to do this all year round, not just for the summer. Again, it's about engaging and empowering. We want to stay active and really focus on our health. So create, when you do your schedule for the week, create an exercise plan for you and your child. This is not just for your kid. This is for you and the kid. It can be a really light exercise, whether it's a brisk walk or whether it's, a more active exercise plan. There are a lot of videos online that we can watch and do exercises with. As a matter of fact, that's what we do each day. We pick out a video and we go and we do the video together as a family. It's very fun. I highly recommend it. We want to learn about healthy snacks and healthy meals throughout the day. A lot of times when we're home and we're comfortable, we tend to pick up, a lot of chips and cookies and things like that. But you really want to, get more fruits and vegetables and just healthy snacks that kids can take part in. Don't let kids eat a lot of candy and junk food, especially while they're home, during this quarantine and during the summer. And then this is a fun thing to do. You'll learn a whole lot. I actually taught my kids how to do this. Keep a food log of your meals and look at the calorie intake on everything that you eat and watch how many calories you intake a day. And there are a lot of apps on your smartphones and watches, if you have those. There are a lot of apps that can show you how to, plan your meals, eat healthy, take advantage of those. One in particular, it's called Calorie King. And then another one is called MyFitnessPal. And I'll put these in the chat. And I do see the question about summer camp in the chat, and we'll get that answered for you. So this is called MyFitnessPal app. And then there's another one called Calorie King. And these are two apps that you can get, mobile apps that really help you to focus on your health, focus on your dieting, eating, help the kids, teach the kids how to do it. They learn a whole lot by going in and understanding, how to keep themselves and their families healthy. And so you really want to stay active and focus on your health this summer and all year round. Again, as we continue to engage and empower this summer, We want to find online resources for students. And, the rule about screen time has changed now since COVID-19. And, we have to do our work. We have to do everything online. But you want to find online resources and things that students can enjoy this summer. Clayton County Public Library System, that the link is here, but you can also, as Craig mentioned in the beginning, Clayton County, and this is wonderful for the residents of Clayton County, you can receive a digital library card. That library card will allow you to access all the information, all the summer programs online through the Clayton County Public Library. Your school district is partnered with them. And so please take advantage of that. They have digital library cards available and waiting for you. You would just send an email, check on your website. They have all of the information there ready for you. Again, local churches, visit your local church for other resources that may be available on their websites. Most of the churches are still closed, but visit their website. They have a lot of summer programs also for students that may be available. And then this next one here, create a summer research project. So this is a lot of fun based on your students' interests. So whether your child likes to do art, music, technology, whatever, if they enjoy building things, whatever their interests are, you can create a fun project over the summer to begin next week, and it can last throughout the summer where that kid is working on that project each day. So for example, some of our friends, they decided they wanted to build a dresser or a nightstand table. So they're working on learning how to do that. Some may, I shared in one of our other sessions, create a solar oven, a science project, look up a science project and have them do those science projects and things that they can enjoy putting their hands on. I know in our last session, we talked about, well, actually session 2, we talked about those learning styles and those kids who are really kinesthetic learners. They like to do things. This is most of our kids. They all really like to get involved during the summer. They really like to get in there and build things, create things. And these are really high level activities. When kids are building, creating, developing, that's a high level learning skill. And that will definitely empower them to continue to learn and grow throughout the summer. And you can just Google fun summer projects for grade 2, summer fun projects, grade 10, whatever grades your students are in, you can find an appropriate grade level appropriate project to keep them engaged in. And these are fun. These are things that kids can do while you work or while, you all can do them together. But definitely create a plan. We want to create a plan to engage and empower over the summer. So this next thing we love, we planted a garden. So whether you have yard space outside or, a small space around your front door, you can plant a garden. The indoor-outdoor garden, so I have some pictures here. We have the outdoor garden, and these are actually real live activities that our students have done. So they planted a garden outside, and then they also planted a garden on the inside. And this is very inexpensive. The inside garden might be $2 or $3 to purchase, where they begin to grow whatever seeds you purchase. And the kids love it. It's teaching them how, and then you can look it up. The students can look up how to, and then the directions are on there. And so it gives them a lot of information for, this is science. They're doing science and loving it. And so growing vegetables or growing plants and fruit and things like that. You can visit your local Home Depot, Walmart, Lowe's. They have all of these supplies. Very inexpensive to start that indoor garden and watch those plants and seeds grow. Again, artistic expressions. If your student is artistic in nature, painting, drawing, They can spend time each day creating a piece of art work that they might, post in your home. Both of these pictures here are actual pictures of artwork that our students did. And we actually put them up. The kids love, they enjoy seeing their work. Again, that instant gratification, that feedback is very important. If your kid loves music, have them to make a song or have them to take their favorite song and write out the lyrics and then talk about what those lyrics mean. And you can do this, again, these strategies, the kids love them and they don't even realize that they're working on skill sets to increase, their reading, their writing, and other skills, their communication skills and things like that. So we want to make sure that we continue to engage and empower them. The poetry or rap, a lot of the kids love the rap music. Have them to create their own rap, create their own poems. These are super fun and engaging activities for students to engage in during the summer. And so, again, we wanted this session not to be overwhelming, not to be very strenuous for you as parents, because we do understand that in these uncertain times, there is a lot going on. But we want to remind you that it is very important to keep your kids on a schedule, keep them engaged, keep them empowered over the summer. And as we get ready to close out this session today and just kind of focus on some of your questions, I want to make sure that we get to answer some of your questions in the chat. So we'll leave some time here at the end for any questions and answers that you may have. But please remember that learning can happen anywhere, anytime. Just be very intentional with it, make it fun. Select a few of these strategies to try this summer with your children and watch them grow. It is very important to watch our kids grow over the summer, and when they get back to the fall, they're right where they're supposed to be. We just don't want to have any summer learning loss with our students.